think I just restart and get back into it. Wow.
So there will be a knock-on effect of the timing there as far as everything's going to be starting just a little bit. Then that we have seconds until we start again. And on the, obviously as the cars come over the ramp into the staging area, they are paired up. That will be the running order for this evening. And with the running of the super special stage tomorrow, plan is that the car that starts on one side tonight will get to start on the opposite side tomorrow, so that anyone who claims an advantage is given the same opportunity on the other side for the supposed disadvantage. But is there anything that you think is going to change? Overall event his reason for being.
Yeah, well, I know this is really great first call. It looks like we're about to get underway, right?
A whole lot to lose.
Yes, this is Harcourt's AXL Super Special Stage Central Energy Trust Arena, which is right. You do what was the wrong. Advantage over that first right turn, but certainly by the time they've been around, it certainly seems to be easing up.
Start the rally. Well, what a way to actually kick the event off.
Yes, what a fantastic way to kick off the Daybreaker rally brought to you by Daybreaker Properties. It's great to see so many locals out here supporting the event as well, and hopefully that dust doesn't get too bad, although I hope you guys brought some clear glasses or sunglasses to the event tonight.
Yes, we're just waiting for the first lot of times to come through. So car 1.
Now, the two cars lining up are actually a 1 point difference in the New Zealand Rally Championship. So Robbie Stokes there over on the far side, and the Ford is only 1 point ahead of Ben Hunt here at the start with the co-driver trying
One point between these two, as you point out, between Robbie, who was leading, and then a former champion who was actually 1 second behind. So these two have a very special focus and a lot to gain. It's really going to be a case of, and it's Robbie's first time here. He's got some catching up to do. You could perhaps say that that's where the games start to come out, and favouritism as far as the psychological battle between them. There's an age over youth. We're going to find out shortly as they hear the launch control come on, the revs come up as they get ready to launch off.
But yes, it was very, very close. We will be getting the times through very shortly. But I would want to call that one, actually, Lance. I feel like that was quite close.
Yes, and we will actually be giving you times as they come to hand. We have the first two cars ending and the following cars. This falls into Sunday.
Robbie starts in the time of 1 minute 43 seconds mark. So only 1 second between those two championship contenders.
What an incredible way to start the rally when you've got 1 second between.
No, I can't even the program.
And now we have Emma Gilmore lining up here under the grandstand. Who unfortunately missed the Daybreaker rally last year. So this is actually her first time on the event.
It's been quite a few years since Emma was here. Suzuki was dangerous the last time she drove these roads. But she made the comment earlier about the changing direction of them.
comment about how he might take his stock car around the street?
Well, yeah, it's a very fair question.
Here in the Skoda Farmia for the first time this year. Last year he won the New Zealand Rally Championship challenge class. Most one catch on one big lance. Well, I think Neil has a slight upper edge.
Yes, but last year there was nothing going to get in the way of her actually bringing her new favourite Steve to this event. On these roads that she has lots of favourite. Then coming back round and onto the track. What will be the last time this is on the Steve? This is going to be 20 horses in New Zealand, but not.
Before you go into the stage to have a look, what do you make of it?
Quite incredible actually. It's different to what it looked like when we walked around it the other day, so quite exciting actually. Glad it hasn't been too much rain, make it really slippy, but really looking forward to getting out there and putting on a show.
It's a bit different for you guys, isn't it? Because we're renting the stage when you went to have a look at it. Normally you do it in your cars, we're standing in on cruise, is that right?
Yeah, correct. We had to walk around the arena and sort of try and work out angles and those coffee balls don't move at all, so you've got to be aware of those.
Fantastic. So I'll say the best of luck this weekend. Back to you, Lance.
Well, I don't know Australia, right? He lives there now, right?
Yes. Well, it's actually, that's a very fair point. It's very
First off the line, but still. through that top layer to the base.
Yes.
Never know.
And it looks like that little piss off the wall by Stuart 3 has cost them a couple of seconds with the time. So car 8 Hayden Kenzie had a time of 1:45 and Stuart had a time of 1:48. About 3 seconds there that he's also that's that time.
Well, I'd rather lose 3 seconds here than be stuck. That's the thing. So, all that
Yeah, and Andrew was talking about how different the roads here in Manawatu are compared to his hometown of Southland. Absolutely. It's also great to see that Hayden Graves, Andrew's son, is in the co-driver seat, coming about all the way up to Southland. And Hayden makes his way to the first, into the second loop.
He's the Graves father and son team, and they've really been embracing the retro theme for those that have seen the primary box parading around it. Speaking of parading around it, down the drivers here. It's one, two, it's certainly a nice little overshoot there by Mr. Graves. Still rather pull it up on the track than let it get away and use the wall to slow it down. Losing that couple of seconds there. Risking it all.
Yes, you can see that Andrew has lost quite a bit of time by that little pickup there, leaving to enter the second loop.
Yes, you'll be annoyed, but having said all that, it's a case of that experience and this logical so I was lucky, got away with it, we found the group that let me one just go to the finish, and there's that.
Indeed, and Andrew is actually an accomplished co-driver here at Daybreaker. He started this rally before as a co-driver, but before as a driver last. He was talking about how different two roads were. So I'm sure he'll be away with that slightly. really strong off the line there. It seems to have a lot more grip than Tiffany getting off the line.
Absolutely, absolutely cracking start compared to Tim, but very points through that first two, which gives a bit of experience. But which surprises me because again, Jim, he had the intention to do very well this very clean introduces by Tilson. Whereas Jim, yes, he really is throwing the car really is very clear win by Chicago there. That entry back onto the track over from the main gate, that it's an obstacle clearly.
While we get the next car up onto the line, which is James McDonald and Andrew, Canada 15, and James Hill, Canada 15 from AFC.
And Jay would be one by one delivery car. Jay earlier this year, some of the ones such a big smile on his face after Southern Lights that he wanted to make the Daybreaker. The next one would keep that smile. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he goes this weekend. The car was absolutely stunning. The team overall is always a little car too. There are a couple of characters in the car, and it's Subaru versus Subaru, which is always a
100%, and that car 14 down there with the Shell Helix livery was actually driven by Molly Taylor from Australia in their last rally, wasn't it, Lance?
Could have been. Looks like it would like to have been. It was actually his own car. We were actually looking to get a Castrol ambassador to that Molly car here for this weekend. There's quite stick. We were looking to have quite a nice name added to the field here this weekend in that Impreza, the Castrol Impreza that Molly used at Southern Lights. Just to get a little bit of interest and additional flamboyancy to this event. As always, seconds away from the start of these two cars across the line. Start by the two. Very smooth. Very high. No, can't go that way. Joe Pitt's spun up around the cable drums. Hey, heavy. Took the start option there. He just let it come around. Group A style. They did it out of the windows for all minutes. There's the containers first going on here. They came from absolutely
Indeed, it looks like it's closer despite that slight mishap last. It looks like it's still relatively close out here with both cars kind of still in sync with each other.
Yes, it actually almost the people books on that same side of the circuit / track. We actually give it some definition. They won't know that, but it does very much look like it's going to be very even stage here as they enter and come back around. We're going to toss it and get through this. Didn't get it by a comfortable margin, but it certainly does go to show that there is so much at stake here.
Indeed. Well, while we wait for those times, we're getting the next two cars lined up. Car number 16, Phil Macquarie from Mola, and car 17, Gavin Feast from Mount Mobility as well. Two Bay of Plenty locals showing good head in this battle line.
Yes, it's certainly interesting as you look through the entry list, not only from up and down the country, but the mix of driver co-drivers where they come from. Some of them are from the same region and some of them from opposite ends of the country.
Indeed, and I think we're going to cross over to Colin down there on the infield. I believe I've got someone to talk to us.
Back to me on the infield. Isn't this great fun? And Jared, Jay. G'day, how you going? What is it, Jared or Jay? Jared. Thank you, I got it right first time. I'm doing alright with names, aren't I, this evening? How wonderful is this stage? It's great fun, isn't it?
I grew up watching super special stages, you know, early days around group up days and all that, and exciting to watch. First up now to actually do an event like this where you've got a super special stage, you can go head to head with a car. It's really exciting to have the ability to have one car one side and on the other. And halfway through that run you're going, are you beating the other person? Are you not? It's exciting.
It's very exciting and it's challenging as well. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. You know, when we did our walk around the track yesterday, it's very tight. Very, very tight, especially once you get away from the speedway track. It's one of those stages where there's not much to gain, but there is a lot to lose.
That's what surprised me. The level of commitment of some of the drivers we've been watching so far is incredible because you hit those walls and they don't move.
Watching Hayden, first one out the gate, and he's there on flipping the outside walls as he goes into the back section. I'm just sitting here baffled going, I'm not even going there.
It's accuracy of the highest level. Best of luck this week, and let's enjoy our next two cars on the stage.
Nicely played there. This is campaign previously by the likes of Mike Young and Dylan Thompson.
A beautifully presented car, isn't it?
It is. And the Phil Macquarie car was previously used by Matt Jansen. Not to be confused with Matt Jensen.
Yeah, that does catch me out. Nice to have Phil here. First time we've seen him in the championship this year.
Yes, and he's joined the Rally Challenge class for the last 3 rounds. He and Andrew Brooks.
Lane 2 had a couple of little pickups today. He had to make a mad dash to Wellington to pick up the helmet.
Yes. Great work by the Motorsport New Zealand technical team to make sure that the safety gears under scratching and to rigorously checked.
Neat job by the team too to react and do what they had to do to make sure that they could take to the start line tonight. Just about an hour and a half from Wellington, 3 hour round trip.
I'd say it would be all of that.
Maybe a touch more.
Phil's car left-hand drive too, so just...
Yeah, I've been called out on that in previous years, as you well know.
Great fun. First lockdown, putting together the funny investments.
And plenty of them.
There was enough for part 2, and we probably could have racked up part 3 to be fair too. So, Crystal with a very good job with you in a lot of things.
So we see Phil come back to the start line. Gavin's going to take this one.
Yep.
Comfortably so at the end. So good reward for all the hard work for both of those two teams. Both their drivers doing a good job. Oh, there's a fair bit of dust around. Got the door of the van open. I see a bit of dust settling on the inside of the door. Sorry about that, Edgy. Shout out to the whole team.
Now we're into the two-wheel drives. This has been the battle of the NZRC two-wheel drive class. Jack Stokes and Dylan Thompson.
A couple of these head-to-head, but Bryn Jones and Tim Mackesy sitting right behind them, ready to do battle in a moment as well.
Yep, and we can now say is the identical Rally 4 Fiestas. So 3 out of these cars, the Rally 4 cars, Jack Stokes in the R2, so less powerful, less sophisticated. He has absolutely been making up for that with some spectacular drives this year.
Another driver to get a few votes now. Best up-and-coming talent by their peers, which is always a cool thing.
We see that tribute to Brooklyn Moran on the roof vent, the gold roof vent with the 89s. Would have actually been Brooklyn's debut in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship after his 18th birthday. Still very much in our hearts, both Brooklyn and Tyson Gemma. Just tragic at the start of the year.
Daybreaker Rally.
Yes, and
Yeah, I don't think that's something that the rallying community is going to forget in a hurry. Very, very difficult start to the year, and something that everyone's going to have to deal with, unfortunately, for the foreseeable future.
About the number of women co-drivers we women driving as well in New Zealand.
Jack been the faster in the dark, and it'll be interesting to see how he starts.
Dylan hasn't had enough carrots. You think I think that Dylan has been the benchmark for just about everything in this class for so long. So
No, not really. I've let my
for Jack to, in his first season, to be taking time out of him at certain stages, certain conditions, is a heck of an achievement, isn't it?
Thompson car getting them away there. Jack Stokes, Sarah Faulkner. Of course, that's tricky to do the rounded barrels in these front-wheel drive cars. It's going to be a case of getting in there with the handbrake, but they've got a tendency to understeer. That's just how they are.
That's nicely done from Jack. So you get a lot of power in this front straight in front of us. Stokes Motorsport, Ford Fiesta. Championships so far, first half of the 2024 season. This is the first time in the championship running 2 cars, and terrific results.
3 both of them. 3 double podiums, so let's not jinx them.
Shouldn't do that in the middle of the stage, but yeah, it's been an awesome start to the year for that crew. After difficult couple of years, it's fair to say. Thompson now.
Thompson, of course, baby cousin on the nose. And looks like advantage Jack.
Yeah, certainly
one
does.
lap. So
very wide approach.
Yeah,
They have to do with those cars, really, don't they?
opening up that corner as much as they can. These cars really are about carrying the momentum. That's how you make the speed. They handle fantastically, and it's been such a successful formula through the STs, the R2s, the Rally 4s, and then we see the drivers step up into these drive cars, and they're just instantly on the coast now. Dead set the best training ground for young drivers.
Absolutely. Kiwi Carp sponsored.
Kiwi Carp cleaning.
See the crew here supporting Dylan, as they always do. Always well supported.
Real family operation.
Here we go. The blast to the finish line. It's going to be Jack Stokes. Takes it comfortably in the end.
Yes.
A couple of seconds at least. So early strike, as we saw in Deep South, the Southern Lights rally. Jack Stokes quickly away out of the blocks in the dark. So there's an interesting look at the Rally Challenge 4-wheel drive. Gavin Feast, the fastest through this stage, 0.9 of a second over Andrew Graves. James McDonald, good job there for third, 1.4 seconds back in Phil McQuarrie on debut, 2.2. Caleb McDonald, 2.6 back, and Jay Pittham's that drama that he had 3.4 seconds off.
James McDonald was very impressive, because remember he had that stall over around the barrel as well.
He did, yeah.
Would have probably been a couple of seconds in that.
I'd say so, yeah.
So, I know that this isn't overly representative of what the crews will be tackling tomorrow, but it's going to be all on, isn't it?
Yeah, good signs. And speaking of good signs, how cool is it to see that car on the start line? Tim Mackesy, new generation car. It was here in the country when we got underway down in Dunedin earlier in the year. Unfortunately, with the paperwork hold up and getting all the approval to compete in it, wasn't able to use it in the first half of the season, but he's here today.
Who would have thought that zeros and O's would be such a major? But anyway, great to see it out on the stages.
Bryn Jones, who's had a difficult start to the year. First half of the year was challenging, but started to see just what he's capable of in Southern Lights. So, a chance to refresh in this long gap we've had over the winter. You quite like how it plays out that way, because the team's a chance to refresh and a different approach potentially for some crews in the second half of the season. All comes thick and fast now too.
As I say, for Bryn especially, it was a good chance to reset. Just had a shocker, that stage 1 spin. So Jack Stokes 2.6 seconds faster than Dylan Thompson there. But I think Dylan, he's been doing this a long time, and he knows about super special stages. And the man number 2, of course, we saw him at Manfield last year, end up in the gravel trap, giving away that class win to Bryn Jones. So he's got happy memories here of a happy hunting group.
Yeah, Dylan will be pleased that I'll go back to Manfield this time round for the super special.
Yeah. So Tim and Lauren had one run in this car. No pace notes in the Wyndham Rally, so there'll be a little bit of learning, but we saw him really come into his own on the tighter roads with the North Island last year.
And he showed some good pace in that old car in the first half of the year as well. So hopefully that will translate to the new car, that little bit more power that you get from the Rally 4 version.
See Bryn Jones and Sean Lockyer. Nice and tidy through there for Bryn. Right out wide, not a handbrake in there, but
he's going clockwise through there.
Especially with the way that the cars pick up the rear wheel, just not enough time down the handbrake to really get the car to tuck in tight.
Delivery on the Bryn Jones Fiesta.
And the Maxi car,
I was going to say that looks neat too.
A bit of red chrome really popping under the lights. Oh, nice from Tim there in tight. So this is going to be quite an interesting little battle now as they race. This should be down to the line, I think, off the top of my head.
No, you're right.
No, he's tucking in there, so... No, this is the run to the flag now, so Bryn Jones can start closest to us. Wake up, BB.
As long as you wake up at 3 o'clock tomorrow when the alarm goes off, mate, so we can get to the live stream stage. Yeah, really looking forward to that too. That's epic corner, of course. So we'll wait to pick up the run to the finish. It's going to be Bryn Jones comfortably then. Is there drama for Mackesy then?
Yeah, it looked like he just had an issue through that chicane there. It looked like he was looking down, maybe stalled the car or something along those lines. So we'll see.
It certainly looked like it was going to be close, and in the end it was. There'd be 3 or 4 seconds in it, so I wonder whether something just went astray last part of the last loop for Tim Mackesy. Safely through the stage, however.
They can tick that one off.
So first of our Vanuatu competitors about to come up to the start line.
Long lane up against William Menzies, one of the all-comers, the local lads in the Red Evo 6. Julian in the Subaru Impreza.
The biggest gap of the night so far, I think,
The car that was previously owned by someone whose name just escapes you. Hugh, and I just cannot for the life of you remember his. That's terrible. That's terrible. Bad form, bad.
That happens. The great Colin Clark is here this weekend. And we were listening to him before we went to air. Even the legends like Colin Clark can make a little mistake like that.
Yes, he's a tricky name like Jones.
Yeah, Zeal, something. Jones.
I'm not going to. Those are glass houses.
He's an absolute legend. It's so cool to have him here. And
yeah, fantastic to see Colin out here.
Regular visitor to the shores these days. And, such a character and does such a great job promoting the sport all around the world.
Yep.
Vanuatu all over the livery there of the Julian Longley.
First of 3 competitors over from Vanuatu this weekend. Julian, then we'll see Nelson Law, Antonio Coracalo. They'll be up in the next group, and not too far away, Pierre Henri Brunet. Fantastic to have him back, and he's partnered again by Mel Peters.
a very big
And there is Longley far into the track, and he's missed the exit, so that is
not a great start.
not the way you want to get underway.
So now he needs to get back down there, and hopefully we don't end up with a red
I was just
flag.
going to say, this is the one trouble with having two cars on the track at the same time, is that it can become a little bit of an issue entering and exiting. I think we're going to be okay. So Longley gets back onto the track before we see
Starting in
Menzies head that way.
Oh, we have gone to a red flag for this one, so probably best in the interest of safety. Last thing we want is
An incident. So talk us through this, BB, because I don't, to be honest, have a clue what happens now. Are we restarted, or are they just going to get assessed times?
I'm not 100% sure either.
Yeah, we are well researched here.
What do you know down on the infield there, Andy Martin?
So it looks like we might be lining up for a restart.
And he's busy trying to find out.
And a second go.
Looks like they are going to restart, I think.
Yeah, William Menzies pulling back into the starter's box.
So I remember when I was at a rally event.
So that's interesting. So what happens with that? Because it's basically happened due to a competitor making a mistake. So if you're restarting, does he get a free kick there?
Effectively, yeah.
Interesting, okay.
Not a bad tactical play.
Yeah, but if you're going to make an error, maybe you make a decent one.
So we've got the NZRC two-wheel drive results up there. Bryn Jones right on Jack Stokes, and we see their confirmation that Tim Mackesy dropped some 67 seconds. I'm not sure what the story was there, but we'll endeavour to get to the bottom of that. I don't know, did you see anything there, Andy Martin?
If you're going to make that comment about the type of...
I think Andy's
deep in the research.
Yeah. We had a few microphone issues there, but we will have Andy with some expert comments throughout the weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Having a current competitor amongst the commentary team. He'll be at the service, won't he, during our first live stream, and then be sitting also underneath the power stage. Looking forward to hearing his thoughts. So about to restart this running. Showing a long way on the far side, gets to do it all over again. I'm sure he won't miss the gate this time round. Poor William Menzies got halfway round and had to bail out.
No one's been looking for the super light fuel strategy.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to run out of fuel on the 1 kilometre long super special.
And they're off again. So keep an eye on Julian this time. And yes, he's on the brakes. And he is through in where he should be, down towards the barrel.
Just running with the standard lights.
Yeah, he's got the light bar on the front, but a lot of them choose not to turn it on.
Everything's clean and tidy.
So William Menzies on the far side of the track now. Let's see how he approaches the hairpin out here for the first time.
Of course, one of the local all-comers. So of course, the easiest way to tell the championship entries is they all run the Brian Green Property Group windscreen banner.
Jeff Argyle's going to catch you out if you go with that theory, because he's still got one there from when he was last in the championship.
And so's Hayden McKenzie, to be honest with you, too.
There's all sorts of confusion at the pre-start.
Yes.
Longley's got this down pat now.
Yeah, pretty even.
Yeah.
Through that first lap.
Jeff Ritter there in the foreground in the blue media jacket right there, taking all the photos we see across the NZRC Facebook page.
Does a fantastic job, does Jeff.
And
Looks like Julian is a slight
fantastic archive to you, the Make Shot Mondays and Turn Back Tuesdays is able to provide us with some fantastic imagery.
so this will be a run to the line once they get around this last hairpin.
Really wouldn't want to call it there at the moment, but I suppose
William Menzies, Doug Dolan, his co-driver, having a little bit of a second bite there. Actually got it to turn quite sharply. So
And does this play out as they come to the line?
it'll be Menzies.
It'll be Menzies over Longley.
On the lock on that one.
So Longley happy to get a second bite of the cherry after a little indiscretion false start.
So, of course, we'll take the opportunity to thank Brian Red Property Group, MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars, and Green Insurance, the fantastic sponsors. Property Group is a rally championship. This can't be happening without their support.
Absolutely great to have Nelson Law there in the Mazda 2 AP4 car. This is, of course, the Force Motorsport run car.
AFC Motorcycles and Harkle 2 are the sponsors of the super special stage here at the Daybreaker Rally as well, because it takes a lot of sponsors and a lot of manpower to make these events happen. Fantastic job is being done.
Absolutely. So up against Shane Merlin, is it?
The times for that car 22 to winning is a 1 minute 51.
That's Bruce Herbert, not Shane Merlin.
3 Julian Lenglet on a 1 minute 52.69.
So Herbert must be late entry or something, is he?
Yeah, he was a last minute entry, so the 4-time New Zealand Rally Champions. We've got quite a few championships. There, you've got Richard Mason as the 0 car, so there's 5 there, 7 with Paddon, 2 with Hunt, 2 with Argyle, 4 with Herbert.
There's a few out there, that's for sure.
The car dealer,
a couple there with Brian Stokes on the service park.
Multiple rally champion out there now. Distance official
Sean Slope and Joe McAndrew will be out there watching.
He'll be around somewhere, won't he? Got a caravan somewhere.
So Nelson Law versus Bruce Herbert, 4-wheel drive RD4 car up against the high horsepower 2-wheel drive Lancer EX Turbo.
The Daybreaker rally was.
I wonder how big a trench Herbie can dig around this big thing.
Local event for him too, of course.
Yes, the Palmerston North Local, the car dealer. Just keep it running, but a little bit of a fog down there for Nelson Law.
Very good start.
Antonio Coricalo. So for Herbie, this will be one big power
Headlights on the front of Bruce's car, so
But then I say that he just understeers gracefully around the barrel.
Gently around, doesn't even have the lights on, doesn't even.
Just got the rooster tails out of the last.
Got the drone up his backside too.
Great to have Nelson and Antonio. See one of 3 teams coming from Vanuatu.
Nicely done.
Real honour to have the international teams too. You know, Brendan Reeves here and Stuart Reid from Australia.
Certainly has become a real Pacific flavour to the championship, hasn't it? In recent years, post-COVID again, thankfully.
Yes, yeah, great to be able to welcome the international visitors back, and of course we had a fair few last year as well.
You're right, and they are a concrete block.
He's going to go the other way around this time.
Right, is the spice of life.
So it would be a great question that we
Nelson Law, who's certainly pulling some time out of him around the super special stage.
Yeah, the advantage maybe of the AP4 car dances around the tight hairpin a little bit easier than Bruce's car does. There is Nelson Law up to the finish line. He's going to take this one comfortably enough. Gee, Herbie's still got half a lap to go.
It's not often that you see that much time taken out of Bruce Herbert.
I think we can call that one. We know
Absolutely not. So I'm sure he will look forward to getting onto the gravel stages tomorrow, though. It'll be a different story out there. So this will be interesting next. I think we've got Dave Strong in the Honda Jazz.
Against Shane Merlin.
Yeah, so a very unique car that Dave Strong operates with.
Yes, it's fair to say, but man, Dave Strong, Shane Merlin, how many rallying stories can you
I
tell?
was just going to say, it's a bit of experience there.
But we have the times through. Bruce Herbert's on a 2-minute 1.
Brian Green in the field, unfortunately, so these will probably be our most experienced competitors.
Very good time.
Missing this one with a couple of little health concerns. Just needed to get them under control, so
These cars to
they will see them out and about over the weekend, but
again,
not
a very special thank
competing.
you
So
to our commercial partners, Brian Green Properties, Struggles AFC,
Rob Scott.
the big behind the
Some experience in the co-driver's seat there too.
Yes, so 3.5 litre V6 supercharged, planted in the rear. Because why not? Because one of the only times that the engine builders had someone turn up and say, "Can you take the power out of my car?" Normally it's the opposite. And of course the classic BDA Escort. Those who've been watching for a while know that I have a slight shot for the Shane has been away from New Zealand rallying this year because he's been doing the Peking to Paris rally. So the Mark 1 BDA Escort rally, fantastic duty that is. It's quite a drive.
Polo or something.
But he had, I think there was five Kiwi teams. Rick Taylor and Chris Ramsey were another one. They had matching cars. Oh, just listen to that.
It's underway. Dave on the far side. Scott gently through the gates. Plenty of power. I think he prefers the high-speed stuff, does Dave?
Yes, I think he just enjoys rallying, to be fair. Great to see him doing it. Look at the power being put down.
Shane over the far side now. BDA Escort is BB loves so much.
Oh, and he's pushing it hard. Look at that. Big power slide.
I'm hearing this is going to be one as he struggles to find a gear. A lot more interesting. There might be a drama over there for Shane Mills. Just not able to find a gear, or is there a problem?
I think it's stalled, but is it going to restart? And we'll surely see a red flag here again. So whether or not we get a restart here, Merlin's car now operational. It's a bit of a shame.
This is interesting. Yeah, so it doesn't appear to be a punishment for the issues. Maybe a free kick, maybe there's a time penalty or something potentially.
There may well be.
Dave Strong is going to have to be given some instructions on what he does next. He's not going to risk.
Main thing is they get a decent crack at it.
Well, safety obviously trumps all else, so the right call, red flag there for very clear reasons.
Yes. Dave Strong now. Oh, so they flagged these ones off by the looks of that. Enough of the run to give them, I guess, the information to assess the time.
Maybe that's it. Maybe if you complete a lap or half lap or something, that's enough.
We saw
They really only was metres into the stage when we had to pull the red flag. So
correct.
So we'll try and update you once we get a time. That may not be, in fact that won't be done, will it, until the stage is finished before.
Yeah, now they're going to Shane Merlin in for another run, or are they from the other side? So he is now making way. So go, we've figured it out. So next up will be Championship cars, Amy Keeley and Grant Mara and the H6 Impreza, and they'll be up against Willie Hawes and Jason Dwyer, the leaders of the Open Two-Wheel Drive Championship. I guess an opportunity too for to maybe get a head start on his rival Dave Strong in that championship here. So
yeah, Willie just needs to protect, doesn't he? He's got the advantage through the early half of the season. Dave has the work to do to try and chase him down. Here's Amy Keeley out of the H6 Subarus.
We've seen quite a bit of the family competing. Brother Josh has been doing a bit of stuff down the South Island with a bit of success, it must be said too. And of course Amy, the defending Group A champion and third in the Rally Challenge last year. So not bad pedigree there. Unfortunately, Dad Andrew's one outing so far this year resulted in a trip to the panel beater with the Escort. Ooh. But yeah, so might be the opposite to most families, where it's the kids teaching Dad how to drive.
See Mike and Helen Cameron in the foreground there in the infield. popular competitors in the championship and very much in the hunt for a title too in that historic championship.
Absolutely.
So, thanks to our man in the field who's actually
Chris
back
Grant.
in Auckland.
Yes.
Looks like Merlin gets fastest time plus 7 minutes
So effectively he's counted as a DNF in
at the stage. Yeah.
in the stage. So that's
So does that, what happens with Longley? Obviously that they deem that we just restart, he gets a free kick.
Chris, feel free to report back to us on that one.
Strong gets the assist time, thanks Chris, so that makes perfect sense. Struggling to see out the windscreen, there's so much dust on it.
Really not what we were expecting when we were driving in.
No, we were worried about how much rain there was going to be, and the rain has largely stayed away. We got a little sprinkle before we got underway as
So
away
these-
go Hawes and Keeley.
Both cars having the same engine transplant, the H6, so the 3-litre 6-cylinder in both of these cars. Willie a bit of a Toyota nut. Also got a fairly rapid Toyota Celica, which he's running at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint next weekend. And as we said, leading the open two-wheel drive. Same power plant in Amy Keeley's car, but of course four-wheel drive. And part of that very successful formula as we've touched on.
Well, he's done a great job through the first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Done a great job of keeping his nose clean.
Mark of consistency, yep.
Yep. And that's how you put together a championship campaign. You know, Dave Strong had that engine failure in the first round, and it's really put him on the back foot before he started. So
We continue to see the development of Amy Keeley getting faster and faster.
really seems to be flourishing in that partnership with Grant Mara and Willie Hawes up way ahead, so overcoming the two-wheel drive deficit.
He's looked very tidy, hasn't he, through the super special to this point?
Yeah, beautiful pattern.
I think we're going to have to wave it off because he's made up so much time. I'm a little confused what happens there. Does he must get an assessed time, I'm guessing, Hawes, and Keeley will carry on.
Yes, that would be my understanding of it. She makes her way back around to the finish. A little bit of confusion with the red flag, so
I think we're all a little confused here, so
yeah, not quite sure how this one's going to...
She's been waved on. I think she has. This is just a little messy, and I think they'll have to figure that one out post.
People above
stage.
our pay grade budgie, I think. We'll sort that one out.
Well, this is interesting because it was through speed.
Yes.
There was no obvious issue for Amy. Willie just caught her. So he looked very, very quick through there.
He did.
That was one of the impressive runs we've seen tonight.
The glorious power slides of the a bit of horsepower and rear wheel drive, and So
good start for him. Whatever happens, it's going to be a good result for Willie Hawes.
It's the open two-wheel drives. We had two cars, and two of them will be running off the assessed times from the opening special stage. It's, the Agile Performance Toyota 86. And, next up, another one of the local lads, Carl Robinson. Back in a Subaru Impreza. Haven't seen him in one for a fair while. Former junior New Zealand rally champion in an Impreza back in the day. More recently has run a Nissan Bluebird Turbo and then the Ford Fiesta Proto of Pierre-Henri Brunet and Mel Peden.
Obviously heard from Mel earlier, chatting to Andy Martin in the infield. Experienced co-driver.
So we see Cole Percival having a look there too, as you say, Helen Cameron, Jodie Seabright. All these competitors still to come.
How's Mel's French?
I think Pierre's English is better.
Right. Silver play.
One of those guys that just seems to have a permanent smile on his face.
Yeah, great to have him over here again. Nicely presented full Fiesta Proto. So we've got a few of the non-championship competitors coming up.
So that throaty Subaru roar.
That's Pure Henri over in the far side of the Central Energy Trust Arena. Sad enough, I'll get it right.
Exactly, of course. They are the provider of the Super Special Stage, and AFC Motorcycles and Harcourt's your presenting sponsors at the Daybreaker Rally, powered by Brian Green Property Group, which is, of course, round 4 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, which is also brought to you in association with MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars and Cream Insurance. Got it! So Carl Robinson is on a charge here. So
Is he what? Very aggressive, exiting the track, going over to the hairpin part.
he's a talented steerer, and not sure of the history on this car, but it sounds pretty, it's giving the Group A retro vibes. So he comes past our camera position. So as we see Pierre for his second trip round the barrel, and he's got the whole family here as well. So the report from Tim Smith back on this stage was he was pooping himself, in similar words. And, Carl Robinson, whoa!
Wasn't much space there left.
No, he's using all the road. So it could be quite an impressive time.
We were adamant that someone was going to tag that wall. No one has as yet.
Yeah, I'd still prefer they didn't.
Yeah.
And it will be Carl Robinson, but not by a lot. It's a good run by Pierre as well.
This is here the anti-lag doing its thing. So we should see Cameron Ross, Ben Harding due up in this next battle to the all-comers entrance.
Yes, another of the Ford Fiesta Protos. And
Mazda RX-7 as well, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely is. And are we seeing a potentially... No, he's got it. It's just a bit tricky getting it away. The big long gears and the rotary, and trying to not dig up the fantastic grass in the playing arena at the central...
There'll be rugby on that in the next week or so.
Was it Wednesday you said? I don't follow
Can't
super
recall off the top of my head.
I'll,
Got the Counties Monaco shirt on under my Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship.
I've got the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship shirt on at him.
Two wins on the bounce too for my local team. Give them a bit of a plug.
If you we could cross over to Rocky Hudson, I'm sure he'd give you a full rundown on how Canterbury's been going this season.
Yeah, Rocky was very quick to point out the basketball result from a couple of months back. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about important things like rally cars. So, Cameron Ross is just getting into the gravel rallying this year. Fantastic to see. He's had a bit of success in Targas over the years, and of course Ben Harding, long time two-wheel drive competitor, getting back into it, and his daughter Charlotte co-driving for him. So, yeah, fantastic to see the family connections right through the field here at the Daybreaker Rally in 2024. So you see the lights come on. That will flash shortly. That's 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off.
All right, the first of the rotaries around Central Energy Trust Arena. Whoa! Just so much power.
Yeah, there's plenty under the right foot there for Ben Harding. Manages to get it around this time.
Almost like the sprint cars. Too much horsepower.
No such thing as too much horsepower, Budgie. A little bit more tentative as he turns into the second of the tracks off the speedway. So now we see Cameron Ross. So this, of course, the Proto Fiesta is using Mitsubishi running gear and suspension pickup points with the body shell literally transplanted across the top, giving that slightly more aggressive and modern look and shorter wheelbase. He's very tentative. Don't blame him. As I said, we went and had a look. We'll see if Ben Harding's a little bit tidier. A little bit. Still giving it the jandle, as Scotty McLaughlin would say. Anti-lag going in the background too from the Fiesta Proto, so it really is a symphony of rallying sounds.
So one last spin around the hairpin, and then a blast to the finish for these two.
We'll see who's setting the pace. Of course, both these guys running in the all-comers rally this weekend. And it will be Cameron Ross.
Comfortably.
Yes. Two-wheel drive around here is just, with that much stop-start, just a little bit tricky.
Yep.
Now Ben and Charlotte Harding make their way across the finish line. Being gentle not to
tear up that
playing surface.
So we should see up next Andrew Spear, Mitsubishi Lancer, up against Bradley Stewart, Subaru Impreza.
This is the old
so first time we've seen the Subaru and the Mitsubishi battle.
Yeah, the battle of old, bringing back the retro at the Daybreaker Rally. Of course, powered by Brian Green Property Group and Central Energy Trust Arena.
Yep.
Oh, nailed it. Super special stage here. Of course, massive thanks to Harcourts and AFC Motorcycles, sponsors of this super special stage, and of course Brian Green Property Group, MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars, Cream Insurance. Quite a comfy drive down in the Omega Rental Car Thursday, must be said.
It was, yeah. It was an elongated one, thanks to a lot of roadworks.
Yes, there's certainly plenty of those going on. It's down the central North Island. So Brad Stewart was very impressive at this event last year, youngster. Andrew Spear, that is the ex-Chris West Mitsubishi Evo 5, now updated to 6.5 spec, and still spectacular livery on that car. Of course, another couple that will be chasing the all-comers titles here at Daybreaker Rally.
Competitors head off to bed. Early start tomorrow. First stage underway just after 5 a.m.
The first car leaves Palmerston North at 4 o'clock in the morning.
10 special stages tomorrow, including finishing with another blast around this place.
Yes. And some big challenges, some notorious bits of road.
Couple of ridge roads.
Yeah,
Ridge Road North is a challenge. I drove that last year, actually, and it's a goat track.
Anything's a challenge for you if you're driving.
It's a goat track, and that iconic hairpin is Stewart's right up against the fence. And then a famous ridge road that featured in our list of top 25 stages during the COVID era.
Yes, that was the second lockdown project. And that was a good fun one to put together with the likes of Neil Allport, Richard Mason, Brian Stokes, and Rob Scott, I think, was our expert panel, and Colin Smith. A lot of
Rocky Hudson might have been in there as well.
Rocky Hudson, yes. I don't think we count ourselves as experts in that, and that's why we didn't get a vote. As we hear the anti-lag, that popping and banging, keeping the turbo spooled. Brad Stewart doing a nice job there.
It was very tidy through there.
Using that four-wheel drive traction and turbo power, and again he runs it up on the high side. And so this is now the final. Look at the flames out the back of the Evo.
That looks cool too. The livery under lights, the flames spitting out the back.
Where would you rather be on a Friday night? Nice from Andrew there too.
Tucked up on the couch watching the live stream with a glass of red, but probably sounds pretty good right now. She's a little bit chilly down here.
Yeah, there's a biting southerly coming through, but very close.
The closest one we've had for a while.
Andrew Spear, I think, got that, but there was barely a hair in that one.
So we keep ticking them through. Jason Weld in the Datsun 180B, along with Brendan Cantwell, Toyota Starlet.
Local legends. So these are a couple of high-powered, I think they're both turbo, rear-wheel drive cars. So this could get spectacular. Plenty of sideways action, I think. We will see. And, Brendan Cantwell, the defending champion of the Starlet Cup, introduced for the Daybreaker Rally.
Not too far away from seeing a couple more of our championship contenders as well. Jared Parker, Paul Fraser, two competitors leading their respective championships.
Yes.
Paul Fraser in the Historics. Jared Parker in the Rally Challenge two-wheel drive.
So they will face off. They're one run away. Fairly serious looking Starlet, that Cantwell car, and look at the big front air dam, the wide arches, the spoiler on the back. I think that's 1800cc turbo, that one. And if it's not, then I'm wrong. That Jason Weld, that's a 180B, the real legend of Central Region rallying back in those days. And he's a real hard charger, and it was great to see him get the car back out the shed for the Daybreaker Rally last year and again this year. So, it's fantastic to see a lot of the local competitors supporting.
Absolutely. Look at even got a little bit of the livery on there as well. Retro round here, retro round in supercars and Sandown this weekend as well.
Yep, it's all about the retro this weekend. That mullet you're trying to grow, mate, it's really not working for you.
Well, it's going to look like Mick Fleetwood. That's about all I got.
So
anyway,
wait to set these two-wheel drive terrors loose. Plenty of horsepower to put down there. Short little wheelbase, so probably not a bad little weapon around this Central Energy Trust Arena super special stage.
I don't want to put the knock of death on anyone, but kiss of death on anyone, but no one's whacked the wall. We were expecting a little bit of carnage tonight, and so far everyone's been very, very well behaved.
You're a brave man, Dale Punch.
I said it before. Well, a couple of our championship contenders weren't out there. Oops. Difficult to get that thing around there.
And we're hearing rumours that potentially this car used to have a plywood rear wing. It looks a fairly aerodynamic device on the back of it now.
Yeah, hearing over the PA system, track commentary talking about the crowd cheering. We'd hear it from our vantage spot here as well, which is neat.
Yeah, fantastic to see. A couple of local teams cheer on.
Good to see a lot of people out there in the town square this afternoon, the pre-start.
Yes.
Taking rallying to the people.
Yeah, and of course they all convoyed here. 60 cars. Had the green light set up.
Walker Katoe setting that up, which is neat to have the support of central government.
That wheel spin on tap.
Well, that doesn't look like an easy feat, getting that thing around that hairpin.
Big old car, the 180B, in terms of classic rallying. It's sort of the sledgehammer effect, isn't it? Take a big car and just give it lots of horsepower. And he drives it incredibly well, but not as well as Brendan Cantwell on this particular occasion.
So comfortable win there for Cantwell.
Next up, Paul Tulloch in the Mitsubishi Lancer. He'll be up against Dan Cowper. Dan,
Mitsubishi versus Subaru again.
Yeah, that classic old battle. Dan Cowper, very well known in off-road scenes in the mud plugging, they call it. Basically where they put ludicrous horsepower and drive up hills that you wouldn't try and... I wouldn't walk up any hills, to be fair, but... Looks like a very good way to get dirty.
Well, some sheep territory around here. These parts, certainly some of the stages we're going to be at tomorrow. Some steep hills.
Just waiting for Paul Tulloch to line up in his spot, and then the timing crew will grab his time cards. This is all part of the standard procedure. They marked down. They will start on the top of the minute, and that minute will be marked on their time card. That's crucial because rallying is very much a precision timing event, so they will then be given a certain amount of time to complete this stage and make it to the next control, which is actually just outside where they get to service. They've then got X amount of time, so their whole day is planned out minute by minute as they start. So as you sort of follow your way through the itinerary, you can see, and then obviously every car on the minute. This one we're seeing 2 cars on each sort of 3-4 minute interval.
See a couple of our colleagues in the standing around that Harcourt's tent. Simon Bell, Carl Fenn, two of the championship coordinators.
And Andy Martin there.
So Andy in the green, is it?
That is Andy in the green. Keep him nice and safe.
I don't know if he's still listening to us. Give us a wave, Andy, if you are. Oh, we're off.
So Dan Kelper and Andrew Bilby, the Impreza. Ex-John Giltrap car, that one out of the South Island. This for a long time was a very unique shade of mustard yellow. Got a bit of a refresh before Daybreaker last year after a little bit of a indiscretion. Which, you look for the positives and go, oh, maybe it's time to change the colour of the car. Sharp looking livery on that car, and of course the stealth black of the Paul Tulloch Mitsubishi Lancer.
So 2 more entrants into the all-comers event. We've got a couple of our championship contenders waiting in the wings. They'll be next up.
So we count our way through the solid 60 car field at the Daybreaker Rally before they all tuck up and get it earlier. It's an interesting balance because the co-drivers will be looking to refine their notes as much as possible, but you've got to balance that with the sleep because you've got to be up. First car, as I said, leaving Palmerston North at 4 o'clock in the morning, so you ain't just going to roll out of bed and into your race suit. But I know that Darren Galbraith's getting that excited to go rallying again that he actually slept in his race suit last night in preparation. But
I think that was more that he forgot to take it off, to be fair.
So we see Tulloch again. A little bit of a lip forming there on the exit of the track, so that's something to be wary of.
How much are competitors paying attention to that kind of thing, standing there in the infield waiting to go? Probably not aware of it that much, are they?
Well, they could be watching the live stream as we see. No, they've finished.
They're finished.
It's all right, Budgie. Stand down.
I'm good. I thought we had one more lap to go.
So this is our Rally Challenge 2-wheel drive leader after 3 rounds, Jared Parker, and he'll be up against our historic championship leader in Paul Fraser with the beautiful BDA and the Massport livery.
What a difference a year makes for Jared Parker. This time last year, really sort of announced himself, didn't he? With the trip north to the Daybreaker.
Yep.
And he went on to win the championship. Outstanding result, and he's just gone from strength to strength this year. One of the real improvers in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship.
Fantastic example, too, of I'll tell you what, though, those corner lights might be...
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just see something...
Yeah, they're off the corner of the bumper, so he won't be getting too close to the barrels. See that? There we go. There's a graphic example of the time card being handed out, but... Jared's a fantastic example of you don't need $1 million budget to run in that Rally Challenge 2-wheel drive class. It is a very accessible way to access the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, and he and a group of mates have a lot of fun in doing it and produce some really, really strong results that have continued to improve. And of course he was the recipient of the MRF Drive of the Rally at our most recent round, the Southern Lights.
Well, we did it a little bit hampered by injury too. You had a few hiccups to overcome and challenges at least to overcome. Did a great job, and as I say, he's been one of the real improvers over the last 12 months or so in this championship. Absolutely loves his rallying. Up against Paul Fraser, who's not put a foot wrong all year in the historic class.
You are just you're tempting it, aren't you, Dale Butch? Absolute shocker. But Paul has been impressive all season, and change of co-driver Len Fisher. So between them, they've got 148 years of life experience, and they both competed against each other in the 1978 round of the Paul Mall Championship. And of course, if anyone from the Broadcasting Standards Authority is watching, it was sponsored by the property on the Monopoly board.
Historic references are alright, aren't they?
Oh, surely. But Paul was in a Datsun 1200 back then, and Len was co-driving for Colin Taylor in a BDA Escort. So neat to see those guys together. Said to them they'll have to do a rally together next year at their combined experience of 150 years.
Nice and tidy from Parker.
Again, with these front-wheel drive cars, spectacular is not the way to be around these stages. It's nice and tidy, and it looks like he's well and truly up on Fraser at the halfway split, unofficially, but look at that. Getting the BDA to sing. Does get me a little bit excited, Budgie. Like to keep it a bit secret, but music.
There's Fraser down in front of us.
Now Jared Parker will come down for his final time around the drum. Throws it in. Look at you see the brake just glowing. Yeah. He's maximising his corner speed. There's no doubt about that. Nice and tidy, and it looks like those corner lights are going to survive, so that's fantastic.
Fraser is going to be well behind as Parker crosses the finish line. He's going to have 5 or 6 seconds to play with at least. Good job from Jared Parker.
Dylan Turner, not sure if you caught that, but that was a perfectly executed apex.
Good to see the Turner mobile getting repairs done. Hope to see that out in the not too distant future. Couple of Toyotas due up, a Starlet and a Corolla. Adam Fisher in the Starlet. I've seen that over the years.
Yep.
Reese Musson in the Toyota Corolla.
And of course, Adam's dad is Len, who we just saw with Paul Fraser. So it's very much a family affair because wife's Jilly
coming up somewhere too, isn't she?
Yeah, she's in the Corolla a little bit later on in the field.
I've seen them compete together as a husband and wife team plenty of times over the years as well.
Passionate supporters. We've seen them off to Europe, chasing Hayden Paddon on his European Rally Championship exploits as part of the tour group there, and regularly do so. Lovely people, just love their motorsport, so great to see. And Adam will be up against Reese Musson, and this is beautifully presented AE86 Corolla. God, we had to drag Darren Galbraith away from that to get away from the pre-start earlier this afternoon. It's not appropriate to drool over cars in the pre-start area. I keep telling him that. And another one sporting a bit of the retro livery.
Just Darren hard at work. If Carly's watching.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Very, very hard at work.
Very hard at work. I think he's advising Jeff Ritter at the moment.
So just looking down the list of entrants, a couple more of our championship contenders still waiting for Pat Norris. Murray Percival to come as well.
Yep.
Mike Cameron to round it out. 60 cars in total.
Yeah, 59 make
59 with
Brian,
Greenie. Yeah.
Brian Green making the late withdrawal. But be interesting to see how many of the 59 make it back here tomorrow afternoon. Big day of rallying ahead of them. Reese Musson.
Cool to have a couple of the Toyotas here because the Toyota New Zealand head office where we had the official opening last night.
So Jared Parker actually the fastest of all the two-wheel drive cars we've seen so far.
Wow, that is a great performance.
21st outright, so very impressive. Certainly looked very tidy and committed, didn't it? So Adam Fisher and Marty Bertelson, who normally is on the service crew when it's Adam and Jilly. So they're digging into all the resources to make it happen here at the Daybreaker Rally. But as I said, fantastic supporters of the sport, and great to see them out and doing it. It's a little 1300 style. A lot of them now running the 1600, but that car still with the I guess proper you'd call it, 1300, as they left the factory.
Jared Parker getting the Darren Galbraith seal of approval. Very tidy and fast. There's a G.
Of course, Darren...
third place in that championship as it stands.
Yes, absolutely. He's quite concerned about how many cars are entering each event.
He was 2.3 seconds faster than Jack Stokes, who was next best. So that is one heck of a performance, isn't it? From Parker?
Very much so, because it is. It's a good little car, but it's Adam Fisher carried plenty of speed in there,
wasn't he?
Absolutely. Well done, that man. I guess the advantage for these guys is they had the opportunity to really watch their competitors. Some will probably be having some yarns, and others will be trying to pick up some pointers. So
Fisher definitely looks up at this point.
Would you say the point being the finish?
That was the finish, was it?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I've really not got this figured out just yet. A few more cars to go. Hopefully by the 60th car I'll have this down pat.
So when they're running around the outside of the barrier,
yeah,
that's when they can.
Well, actually, they said before, is he? Yeah. Anyway, I'll stop while I'm behind.
The couple of local legends, Keith Stewart, the man they call Yeti, the Ford Escort, the 1600 BDA. This car, bit more of a stock standard, I guess, Group 1 sort of spec, as they would refer to it back in the day. He's up against Greg Brown, Greg and Sean, father and son team.
Honda Integra.
Yes. A very pretty little Mark 1 Escort.
So I think it is just hearing over the PA system. It was Wednesday night that we've got an NPC game here. So
see who's faster.
Yeah.
See if those turbos live up to their name. I don't see it. Nothing quite like rally
bucket hats here today, though. Good crowd, but not too many in the green bucket hats that become sort of synonymous with Manawatu rugby. Cool facility, though. Like I said, there was football going on out the back when we were here earlier.
I think we saw Jack Smith actually kick a footy over the bars at one point. I think that made the PRG social media. So not sure if
Jack
that
Smith
was...
finally kicked a goal, who'd have thunk?
Not sure whether that's legit or whether that was a bit of video trickery.
We're watching too much of Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yes.
Watkins Glen, isn't it, this weekend?
Watkins Glen, so there could be the chance for another football to make its way into the crowd. Certainly he's making leaps and bounds. You had to think 12 months ago he was here.
Yeah, unreal, wasn't it? Adam Fisher, second fastest two-wheel drive tonight. Maybe the track's coming to the latter competitors.
The two-wheel drive cars.
Yeah, Adam Fisher, he did look fast too. Looked like a very committed run through here.
And you're not going to win the rally here, but those 4, 5, 6 seconds, they could really, they just give you that little head start. So not far away now. We see that light flashing, and then the red lights will come up. So that's 10 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Don't let me count you down. The GT Oils Honda Integra. Sean been doing a fair bit of circuit racing in the GTR NZ class.
Andy Martin's made his way over from the infield. Might even try and grab some of his thoughts actually in a minute or so.
As we see Keith Stewart now with the Mark 1 Escort. Andy doesn't like you, mate.
He doesn't want to chat. He's done. He's ready for dinner. We sort of haven't exactly eased him into being part of the NZRC live team this weekend. We're making him get up at 3 o'clock. He was adamant that he thought if he was going to be awake at 3 o'clock down here, it was because he hadn't gone to bed yet. got really bad news for you, Andy.
It's up to him, but that would be one heck of a stint.
Yeah.
As we see Greg Brown again, and really got that first run right. A little bit too much handbrake there, but
so getting down to the last half dozen or so matchups. Going to see an all-starlet battle very shortly.
yes. Great to see the little Mark 1 Escort. So original, that car. You know, a lot of them are like the Grandad's X. They've had, 3 body shells and 2 engines, and this one very original. Great to see. He was a guy that was really excited by the return of the Daybreaker last year. He's going to concede this one to Greg Brown. So, again, a couple of modified starlets. Brian Terry with the motorcycle engine Toyota Starlet, I believe. Up against Cam McKay with the 1600, as I said, fairly popular transplant. So, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more combinations here at Central Energy Trust Arena.
We're getting there now.
Oh, professionals. This car freshly built, so
The track's held up remarkably well, hasn't it? The amount of traffic we've had on it.
yeah, there were some concerns from a few supposed experts on that, and certainly it's stood up well. We've got another run tomorrow, hopefully not too much wet weather. There is a bit of talk in the forecast. Don't know if we'll even notice if it's raining at the time that we have to get up.
Well, I don't have to do the drive. I'm in the passenger seat, so
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, it's going to be.
Thankfully for
Lie
everyone,
back and go to sleep.
Thankfully for everyone, you don't have to drive. And I'm pretty sure Omega Rental Cars are pretty happy to hear that as
This
well.
is a stitch up. Absolute stitch up.
The old gold.
You make one mistake. One mistake. It was years ago. That was pre-COVID. You can let it go now. Yeah. Never going to live that down.
I'm good. Oh yes, you hear that motorcycle engine. Listen to the revs, the sound. Brilliant. Cam McKay, the 4-door starlets. So we don't see a whole heap of 4-door starlets as rally cars. But, becoming a little bit like the Ford Escort, a little bit harder to get bits for now, but more valuable. Do know Shed Kaikoura that's probably got a couple of shells hanging around out the back, both marks. But, Cam McKay looked like he's pushing on a bit in the 4-door starlet. So now we see Brian Terry.
Couple of Imprezas due out next. Not too far away from our next NZRC competitor, Pat Norris, as well, the little Yaris.
Using all the revs available at motorbike powered Toyota Starlet. But, Cam McKay there managing to light up the rears as well. Get a fair old power slide going there, so great to see these starlets out. A lot of fun for not a heap of money. Fairly cost-effective way to go rallying. So this will be in for the final run around the barrel for Brian Terry.
Drone operator doing a great job following it too.
She's hard work trying to keep up, and of course keeping out of that line of vision too when they're going around the barrel, so a fair bit to be thinking about. And that one will go the way of Brian Terry. So, as you say, a couple of the impresses up next, Chris Bellis and Jeff Warren. Jeff been around for a fair few years now. See him quite a few events around the North Island. He and Sarah Jaggs.
Norris would be up next in the Yaris, as I say. See Murray Percival in a few minutes. Mike Cameron, last of our NZRC competitors.
They'll be paired against Chris Clark and Graham Robertson, another couple of local legends. So be a few years worth of stories to discuss there, as we see Jeff Warren pulling up. Preza. They will be up against Chris Bellis, who's just making his way to the line now. Our traditional Subaru blue with the gold wheels. The not so traditional black bonnet. So we just have a quick look through some of the results. Of course, it is Hayden Padden who kicked us off with a time 3 seconds faster than Brendan Reeves. Those guys really stolen a little bit of a march. It's another 3 seconds back to Ben Hunt, the third fastest car, and then Robbie Stokes another second back from there. Zeal Jones sitting 5th ahead of Hayden McKenzie, the first of the all-comers, who's just a 10th of a second faster than Emma Gilmore. Nelson Law, it's a pretty strong performance from Nelson.
It's outstanding, yeah. Top 10 result.
Yeah, sitting there in 8th, 9.6 seconds off the time of Padden. Then Cameron Ross in the Fiesta Proto, 10 seconds back. Stewie Reid, Gavin Feast, of course, the first of the Rally Challenge cars, 9/10 of a second ahead of Andrew Graves. Jeff Argyle, the third of the all-comers, just a 10th of a second off Graves. And then James McDonald, another 4/10 back, and that was with that stall. So as we see Jeff Warren now make his way around the barrel.
Still think Jared Parker takes man of the match for me.
Yeah, very impressive performance. William Menzies in 15th, of course, another of the all-comers, just ahead of Phil Macquarie by half a second. Then Andrew Spear, a 10th of a second back. Caleb McDonald sitting 18th overnight, equal with Carl Robinson. Then Timmy Smith, just ahead of Jared Parker by 2/10 of a second. So as you say, very, very impressive performance. Bradley Stewart, Julian Longley, probably got a little bit lucky there with a second opportunity. Just ahead of Jay Pittams by a 10th of a second. Then Pierre-Henri Brunet equal with Paul Tulloch. Adam Fisher in there, leading Class A, funnily enough, and just ahead of Jack Stokes by 1.1 seconds. So very impressive as we see Chris Bellis make his way past us. Again, Jeff Warren will make his way in for the second trip around that cable drum. Brendan Cantwell just equal with Jack Stokes, and then Bryn Jones 8/10 of a second back. Brian Terry, who we just saw slotting in 3/10 of a second behind young Jones. Then Ben Harding in that RX-7 that we saw earlier. Dan Kelp and Jason Weld. Dylan Thompson back in 35th, so he'll be looking to work his way.
You can't see in the dark.
Yeah, he'll be looking forward to the sun coming up. So we see Chris Bellis make his way around that drum cable. And now it's the run to the, well, it's not checkered flag, but the flying finish, as we say in rallying. And it will go...
Oh, that's tight, I think.
Yeah, Bellis just.
Bellis over Warren, yeah.
But, great work from the Volt TV team, giving us that perfect line of sight. And for those of you with eagle eyes, you can see the flying finish is lined up perfectly with the 22 metre line on the rugby fields, right by our Brian Green Property Group sign there, just next to the MRF Tyres sign, as we see Pat Norris work his way out onto the road. Clint Heyman, so his third co-driver for the year too.
It's a race from a few of our competitors, so you can have the most number of co-drivers in a championship season. Emma's had 3. Robbie's had 3.
Pat's had 3.
Pat's had 3.
they clearly need Tanya Cresswell because she managed, I think, 5 in 5 different classes? Five drivers in 5 different classes across the course of a season. And, I think she's actually on the infield helping out with the event, so it's great to see. Yeah. And as pointed out by our director, great news for Tony Rawston, who that's, of course, a very settled relationship. He and Ben have been together since 2010.
Not so good for the NZRC patch supply. I think you're a little light on those. Being handed out like confetti at the moment.
Pretty much. I'd love to give you one, I really would. But yeah, so Pat up against Callum McKenzie in the Mazda MX-5. Not something we see a lot of on the gravel. It's the Martini livery and the editing to have the Miatini. Of course, the Miatas, as they're known in the USA. MX-5s in New Zealand. And I think Unos Roadsters in Japan. But this
give us the Yaris explanation as
well.
well.
This is the Toyota Yaris, and then of course there's the Toyota Vitz and the Toyota Echo. And I can't figure out the difference between any of the three of them. Different badges on the back, Budgie.
Right.
So we see Callum McKenzie make his way down. Should be a good, nimble little car for a stage like this, the MX-5. Don't know what the handbrake situation's like in this car. But nice and tidy around the drum there, just giving himself a wide entry, getting in there and getting the power down as early as possible. I believe Callum's uncle, Bruce, fairly well known in NZRC sort of circles, as a long-time co-driver for the likes of Dave Strong. But now Pat Norris extracting everything that the little 1300cc engine in the Vitz will give. He's chasing Jared Parker in that Rally Challenge two-wheel drive class. And, wow, didn't Jared put down a marker to chase?
Absolutely, but yeah, the thing with that is Jared just got to make sure he gets the finish line everywhere.
Yes, exactly right.
That's the challenge that Norris is bringing, is that he is getting to the finish line. He's banking points every round.
And so it's the best 3 scores from the first 5. So for Jared, he's got 2 wins so far. Darren Galbraith took the round off him at South Canterbury, but also by competing, he can still take points away from Pat Norris,
yes,
who doesn't win.
Yes,
if that makes sense. So,
yep.
There's lots of little permutations, and that was getting a little bit tight. Yeah, getting a little bit tight on the re-entry there for Norris. So Callum McKenzie having a pretty good run here. So Pat will make his way in, and look at the sparks off the brake pads there. Of course, one of the joys of night rallying is that's the sort of stuff you get to see. Will be daylight by the time we get to stream from Special Stage 5, 7:30 in the morning. So chuck the kettle on, tuck up in bed with the TV, or cozy up on the couch with a nice hot chockey. Yeah, that's a fairly convincing win to Callum McKenzie.
So Dean Astle up next in Toyota Starlet, Gordon Diggle, Mitsubishi Mirage. And we're getting down to the last handful of matchups. Murray Percival not too far away, he'll be next. What about championship contenders? Mike Cameron a couple after that.
New gearbox for Murray in that car, still the same sort, but a new gearbox. They were having a fair few niggles with trying to get the car in gear, so potential improvement to come from the grandson-grandfather relationship there. So Gordon Diggle now we see lining up on the far side of the Central Energy Trust Arena on the Palmerston North Speedway here. Of course, the Bruce Robertson Prestige, I believe, Palmerston North Speedway. Nice livery on the Dean Astle Toyota Starlet. 1300 car versus the Class C car up to 2 litre, the Mitsubishi Mirage. And the lights coming on, they are about to There we go. We see the orange light flash. The revs rise. There we go. The red lights come on. And they're off. So we see Gordon Diggle make his way down towards the drum barrel. So we are getting down to the last few combinations, Dale Budge, but it's been a fantastic night of action here.
Certainly has. Weather's done its part as well.
Great
We were
work.
threatening there for a little while before we got underway this evening with a few spots of rain, but stayed away.
Great way to kick off the Daybreaker rally for 2024.
It certainly is. A few hardy souls out in the open stand. It's pretty chilly.
Of course, all the cars go from here straight to service as well, so that's literally just over the back of the grandstands. Get those cars all ready to go for that somewhat early start. The last of the cars will be leaving 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. First cars at 4. Of course, minute intervals right the way through the field.
Some very challenging roads to test our competitors on.
Yeah, we've had 3 very, very fast rallies to start the championship. You know, averages of 110, 120 kilometres an hour. You probably slice 40 kilometres an hour off that on some of these stages, certainly 30, 40 k's an hour through most of them. They are demanding. You know, speaking with Larissa Bigger at the start, she was saying Caleb McDonald, her driver, would say, "Oh, my arms, they're going to fall off."
Yeah, well, she was running out of ink in her pen.
Yeah, I think the word was that Jared Hudson's got 50 pages of pace notes for one of the stages. So that's a fair bit of information to be feeding back to his driver. I suspect that'll be a case of put your head down, Jared, and just keep reading. Of course, fantastic job he's doing alongside Hayden Padden. Great to see.
Yeah, awesome for the family too. Have both Hudson celebrating their 50th event start, and then 1 and 2 seeds respectively as well.
As we see Gordon Diggle make his way across the line, beaten by Dean Astle on this run. So next up, as you say, should be Murray and Kyle Percival. Simon Bell's kindly clearing our windscreen for us, championship coordinator. There is a little bit of dust on the Volt Media live van. Oh, and he's saying he came in first place across the this stage as well. So just wanted to demonstrate that.
I think it's because he won the race between he and Carl Finn across the track in between competitors.
Yes. Carl Finn very kindly opening the umbrella for us to shelter us from the rain that doesn't exist here.
No, it's from the dust. Because there is a bit of dust.
So we'll try and reintroduce a little bit of sanity to the arena here. Those boys looking resplendent in their MRF tyres caps. So Murray and Kyle Percival on the line. Of course, part of the open 2-wheel drive class, and they're up against Nick Stewart. Reese North co-driving for him, the Toyota Corolla. Great to see the old school Toyota Corolla in there. Not a Corolla we see a heap of on the rallying stages, but
tough run for Murray down in the Southern Lights rally. Had a few gremlins that he had to battle throughout the weekend.
Yes.
Great to have him back in the championship, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of those guys that just really loves his rallying. Great opportunity to spend some time with his grandson Kyle, and saw them around at a couple of non-championship events, just having a look too. So great to see. Not a great start though with the stall. So
got it away finally.
Sounds like it might not be on 4 cylinders there. Might have possibly flooded or something. But I'm sure they'll give it a few revs and clear the whole bay engine out. So this is Nick Stewart.
Murray's got it going, and
it's still misfiring.
I wonder if we're going to see a red flag here, potentially. It's pretty close the other end of the circuit.
Sounds like it may have cleared itself, possibly. May not have as well. Yeah, it's got a bit of grunt there. Yep, just cautiously making his way back onto the track. That's not Stewart going in there, so no, it definitely hasn't cleared the misfire.
Yeah, doesn't sound right, does it?
But I think they'll have enough of a margin to get out. Get out in front of in time.
Using all of the available track.
So that's Stewart's 1.5 laps done, and they called it. So they'll give him an assessed time.
So that'll hurt Percival, because presumably that'll be the same deal. It'll be fastest time plus 7 minutes, right?
Not quite sure what the go is there. I don't think so, because they've actually completed the stage. So that's one for the stewards, and of course the great team at Chrisport to figure out. If we have a look, Julian Longley definitely had a competitive time in there.
So our final championship competitor due up in just a moment, Mike Cameron, as we see the overall top 8 results there. Hayden Padden 3 seconds quicker than Brendan Reeves. The two Hyundais, the two top seeds, first and second, who did the job on the seating. Good work early. Ben Hunt, third place, a second quicker than Robbie Stokes in that 1 point championship battle between the two heading into this round. Zell Jones, fifth quickest, and Emma Gilmore. Nelson Law inside the top 8, and Stewie Reid. So it'll be Mike and Helen Cameron in the Mitsubishi Lancer up against Chris Clark in the BMW 316i.
Chris and Robbo have been rallying for years. Team Sumo, they call themselves. And famous for a lot of Datsuns, now moved to the slightly more civilised BMW as they become more experienced, shall we say. That one also has the Nissan power plant. Robbo also a long-time event organiser and still actively involved in the running of the sport. So great to see him out having some fun. And the Camerons too do a lot of work behind the scenes, especially with the local South Taranaki Car Club and the likes, and were involved in the recent running of the resurrection of the Taranaki Tarmac Rally, which is of course around to the North Island Rally Series. So yeah, a couple of, as I said, combination here with a couple of stories to tell of rallying over quite a few years.
Yeah, Helen, of course, famous for delivering the lollies to all the volunteers. Popular figure.
Done that already today. It was very kind of her. Sadly, I couldn't convince you to take my lolly wrapper.
No, I've fallen for that before.
Once bitten, twice bitten, 3 times sure.
I figured it out after about the 5th or 6th occasion.
So the trusty Little Evo. Mike and Helen Cameron there, of course, sitting second in the historic championship, and don't quite have the outright pace of Paul Fraser and the BDA Escort, the little 1600 Lancer, but they're putting themselves in a position to capitalise on any mistakes that Fraser may make.
Well, that's the thing. It only takes one mistake, and this is the kind of event where that is possible. As we see the NZRC two-wheel drive standings, Jack Stokes 0.8 of a second quicker than Bryn Jones through this opening special stage. Dylan Thompson, championship leader, 2.6 seconds adrift in third. And Tim Mackesy had that little drama. He was there or thereabouts.
Yeah, it'd be good to catch up with him at some point and just understand what that might have been. It may have been a stall, or very easy to do around these tight corners, as we see Mike and Helen opting for the clockwise option.
So one more pairing to go after this, and then Gilly Fisher, I think, will tour around here on her own.
So obviously an issue there for Chris Clark. They've thrown the red flag.
Now, this will be interesting. Will they restart this?
I fairly early into the run, so we'll see as they pull up to...
Doesn't look like it.
Well, they were starting over this side of the track. So let's see, do they turn off to the right? No, they don't.
Well, that's good because I can hear the people on the PA system saying they're a little confused as well. So we're all
confused
to figure it out. So maybe a restart.
It's looking like a restart. The officials they'll have the radio in their ear from the clerk of the course and the rally control. And they're, of course, sitting there saying, how's your day going, mate? Yeah, nah, so far so good. Got to be up a little bit early, so I'll probably go to bed shortly.
Surely you have to do the assess time thing, don't you? Like, I just don't understand how this is any different to what we saw earlier.
No, agree. And it's a little bit tricky because we don't know exactly why Chris Clark was...
Yeah, I mean, assuming there was no other outside factor here, if it was car or driver, well, seems like a free kick, just because you get caught later in the piece.
Yeah. Of course, all what's the word I'm looking for? Opinions are those of Dale Budge and not necessarily those of a regular human being.
Oh, like it just it's effectively the same thing. It just happened a lap later. Like,
I hear what you say, mate. I hear what you say.
Anyway, it's a free kick, so they'll try and make the use of it.
I'll believe you thousands.
Chris Clark, Graham Robertson, the Team Sumo.
So they are clear this time. So we pick up on the BMW. Some fairly serious bonnet scoops going on there.
They certainly are. So the likes of Amy Keeley are going to have a strong opinion, I suspect, on that too.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll leave that for people that are more clever than I am. Fairly large group of the population, to be fair. So Andrew Lowe, Mark Rutherford to come, and then Gilly Fisher on her lonesome. Nice tidy job by Mike Cameron.
Yep, so one more barrel to go for them as they head down past our camera and then out of shot. Just in time.
That looked closer than the previous one. I'm going to get chased out of town here by the...
Are you by chance an NRL coach?
Yeah.
So, Chris Clark makes his way down towards the drum. And I think this will be a fairly resounding victory to Mike and Helen Cameron. So they make their way around the barrel. Well, Mike and Helen Cameron make their way down the back straight and across the line.
A resounding one for the Camerons. They'll be happy with their evening.
Oh, just about got the barriers there to Chris Clark too, but yeah, free lollies all round I think will be the order of the day in the Cameron camp.
Tell you what, at that first stage where we're going to, special stage 5 for the live stream, could do with a Uber Eats breakfast brought up there, bacon, eggs, and home-killed sausages and some hash brown or something.
I'm sure Hedgie will have us covered there.
Got to start remembering to take away the little portable barbecue with us.
Yes.
So the last pairing, Mark Rutherford, Alan Groves.
Little Ford KA, not something we see a heap of.
Andrew Lowe and Ian Barr on the Toyota Corolla.
So this is the ex-Daffo Rock car. It came so close to winning the Rally Challenge two-wheel drive class in 2019. Daff now moved into an R2 Fiesta. But Andrew's got two cars in this rally because the car that Jeff Argyle drives is owned by Andrew Lowe.
Oh, there you go.
There's a useless little bit of information for you. So not quite sure of the history on the KA rally car. Not sure whether it's one of the ones out of the One Make series in the UK, or possibly just a built-up car, or possibly there was, of course, the Celebrity Race series for the Ford KAs back in the late 90s as well.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Surprised you didn't get an invite, Budgie, but potentially they saw your driving efforts and went, look, we've got a bit of panel.
There's so much insurance.
Yeah, we've got a bit of panel budget, but there's limits.
You know, my friends think I'm a good driver, right? Come away with you lot, and this is the sort of rubbish I'd have to deal with.
Don't know what's worse, the fact you're trying to tell us you're a good driver, or the fact you're trying to tell us you got friends.
We've got friends that aren't very sharp, let's say. Anyway.
Mark Rutherford making his way around, and Andrew Lowe in that little black Corolla. Done a few miles in this car now. I think he's done a Silver Fern rally in it. Did the Daybreaker last year. Great to see him. Said long-time crew member for Jeff Argyle and now car owner. I think he managed to find the most aggressive part of the bump in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
Down to the cable barrel there. And, headlight out. He may want to get that sorted in the service post stage, because he'll be needing that tomorrow morning. Mark Rutherford makes his way down.
He looks reasonably quick, yeah?
Yeah. Carrying a good dose of momentum. That's what you need to do, because he ain't blessed with horsepower in the little KA.
No, definitely not. This might be fairly close down this part of the circuit now, maybe not.
Definite maybe. And no, it's yep, too close.
Yeah.
So
they've done a lap, so I presume that means they just get waved through. It looks like it.
Yep. And the marshal's doing a fantastic job there to judge that.
So I think we'll see Jilly Fisher line up on her own, and that'll be us. Kyle Cotton alongside the Toyota Corolla.
Kylie,
excuse me. Apologies. The dust in my eyes. So there we go. Rally Challenge four-wheel drive. Gavin Feast, as we said, quickest through, beating Andrew Graves by 0.9 of a second. James McDonald, good result for him. 1.4 seconds adrift in third. Phil Macquarie, first outing of the year for Phil. Fourth place. Caleb McDonald, 2.6 seconds off the pace in fifth. Jared Parker, what an outstanding result that is. 3 seconds adrift, the first of the two-wheel drive cars. Julian Longley, 3.3 back. And Jay Pittams, who had a bit of a drama, 3.4 seconds off the pace. It'll be a fascinating battle, and that has been all year. Very deep Rally Challenge four-wheel drive class this year.
There's no Carter Strang at this one. He'll be back for the next round at Bay of Plenty.
So I presume that means we probably don't see Caleb McDonald or Andrew Graves at the next one.
I believe that's their plans, yeah. So,
bearing in mind, same concept, right, as we said with the Jared Parker. Best 3 results of the first 5.
Yes.
And then obviously the finale at Whanganui.
And look what's starting to...
just a little drop of rain.
Falling on the windscreen.
Just enough to turn all this dust to mud for Hedgie.
Mark Rutherford sitting there with the officials saying, come on, I was enjoying that. Give me another go.
They wouldn't entertain allowing that, would they, with Jilly Fisher being the only car to run?
I wouldn't have thought so. So there comes Jilly out onto the stage to take her spot. Possibly.
I'm just making stuff up here as we go now, to be fair.
Nice. No surprises there, Budgie.
Your laptop's decided to have an update, is it?
Oh, I figured it was about time to shut it down. I knew who the last car was.
Hopefully we can charge it up in time before we have to get up and get on the road for the morning stages. Yeah, I don't know if my phone's going to charge in time.
We're out of here in 38 minutes.
Yeah, not ideal. All part of the challenge, though.
Part of the adventure of the Daybreaker rally.
Mm-hmm.
So while we wait for Jilly and Kylie to get their start time, and it looks like maybe Mark Rutherford is going to get another go. We'll thank, of course, Harcourts and AFC, the sponsors of the Super Special Stage here at the Central Energy Trust Arena. At the Daybreaker Rally, powered by Brian Green Properties, which is round 4 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. So we thank Brian Green Property Group, MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars and Cream Insurance. No one's had to make a claim so far tonight, so that's a good start.
That is good, yeah.
With Cream Insurance, so I'm sure Mark Mallard will be quite happy about that. But, yeah, what a way to kick off the Daybreaker.
There we go.
Yeah, so there you go. You called it, Budgie.
Might have been sharp tonight.
Sharp as a...
Probably peaked too soon, though. Big day tomorrow.
Sharp as the rubber end of a pencil, you are, mate.
Sharp as a marble. So Rutherford gets bonus laps in.
How's that for value for money?
Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty tidy with what we did see of him. Jilly Fisher at the other end, and we're going to have a red flag.
Did wonder if that... Yeah, I think after a couple of goes it might be time for an assist time for Mark Rutherford there.
Again, I point to Amy Keeley.
Amy's got a time there. So
she got an assist time.
Yep. So we wait to see what's going to happen here with Jilly. Carl Finn quite literally being a window licker, which is going to help with cleaning the van, actually.
Well, surely not again. We might be here until we have to go to special stage. Yeah.
So Jilly's just come back past the start line again, so not quite sure. We are definitely...
I'm awfully confused here.
So am I, which is probably slightly less...
It is Glenn
Inkster, who's organised the timing system for tonight. Of course, former driver of some repute, must be said, and former winner, one-time winner of the Daybreaker Rally. Jilly's just doing her thing. And
Rutherford's moving up to
lining up for another go. And now Jilly's made her way past.
Is she exiting stage right, or is she?
No, she's going for a lap around the drum. She'll come back onto the track as you see the rain starting to fall.
Our colleagues are standing outside in the rain. How disappointing for them.
Not Carl Finn, he's under the umbrella.
Right. Is that done?
So we're hearing that is...
Rutherford's adamant he's going to get lap in here. I'm not going home until I've run.
Can't help but admire the man's persistence.
Yep.
So I think we'll wrap up from special stage 1 of the Daybreaker Rally here. Again, a massive thanks to Brian Green Property Group, MRF Tyres, Omega Rental Cars and Cream Insurance. Make sure you're up nice and early to join us just before 7:30 tomorrow morning for stage 5.